Hey everybody, it's PA Swarm King here. Today's video I'm going to go over the second part of my swarm trapping trilogy. It'll be. The first part was how to set up swarm traps with existing equipment that you've either had for a few years and is nice and old or new. In the second part, I'm going to show you how you can set up some swarm traps in alternative things that are not beehives, and you can do it for either pretty cheap or practically free. So the first one that I suggest, and I made a previous video about it, I don't know, a year or two ago. So you can look at that one for some extra tips. But the first one is large fiber flower pots. These things actually work much better than hive equipment in my experience. The bees just find these irresistible. This one here, I got a little fancy with it. With the back, I have a piece of wood that fits right in the back of the pot. But you don't have to do that. You could just put a nice big piece of plywood on the back and screw it down to that. The key for these is to bait them really well with some old, what we call slum gum. So if you don't know what slum gum is, you can get in touch with an experienced beekeeper. They're going to know what it is. It's the stuff that's left over when you render wax, all the dark cocoons and propolis and just junk from melting wax through a filter. And that stuff is really good to coat the inside of these things. This one here, this one's still pretty new. I'll show you a picture of how I had it up in a tree. What you do is you take that slum gum, or if you can get some good beeswax, that's even better. Melt it in a crock pot, take a little paintbrush, and brush it all on the inside of here. These flower pots come with 4 holes in the bottom. You don't want to have all 4 of these holes open. You want to cover up 3 of these holes and leave just 1 hole. You can either fill it in with some of that expansion foam, or you can just put some duct tape over it, cover the sticky side so you don't get bees stuck on the inside. And if you have it in a covered area, like under a balcony or under a carport or something like that, you don't have to worry about it filling up with rain. But these last pretty long, and I'll put a picture of the company that I get them from. You can get a stack of 10 of them for like 80 bucks, so you're talking $8. If someone steals this thing, who cares? The thing is, a lot of people are going to say, why do you want to catch bees in this thing? They're going to be a pain to take out of there. And what I say to that is, that's true. They are going to be a pain to get out of there. It's some work to get them out of there, depending how long they've been in there. If you're checking, you don't need to check these every day. Check them once every 10 days, every 2 weeks. And it'll be a little bit, you're going to be doing some bee work to get them out of there. It's going to be a little cutout, but I'd rather do a little bee work than pay 150 bucks. Plenty of my friends who have taken my advice and done this have caught a ton of bees in these things. So I'm not just telling you to do this like I just made it up. So with these, you don't need to put them up high. I've caught them on the ground. I'll put a little clip right here of me catching some bees with the thing on the ground. I got a swarm in there. I've also overwintered bees in these things just because all my equipment was full and I literally had nothing to put them in, or it was too late in the season and they've overwintered in them. And I have bees overwintering in these right now. So if you have any further questions about these, just to recap, you get these nice fiber pots, coat them with some wax, put a little bit of, get a little swarm lure. I'll put a couple links under my description. I think if you get the lemongrass oil, I get 10 cents. If you get the other one, the more expensive one, I get $1. I really don't, you don't have to get it from those links. Just they're there, okay? Put a little bit of swarm lure in there. You get 10 of these, you put them up, you catch 4 swarms. They way more than paid for themselves. You got some free local bees to just not stress about. I love these things. But if you just don't want to spend any money, which is great, that's even better, here's the other thing I do. This thing here is, you know, a cooler. It's like, I guess, I don't know if they shipped meat in it or something, probably, or there was full of dry ice. But I get these at the post office. You can literally walk into almost any post office and ask for these. Some post office say you can only take 3 at a time, so take 3. My post office says you can take as many as you want. I took way too many, but get a nice big one. It's better to use one that's too big than too small. You don't want a tiny one. This one's almost about, this is slightly bigger than a 10 frame deep box. That's about the perfect size. Cut a hole in the thing. Do the same thing you were going to do with the flower pot. Coat it with some wax on the inside and a swarm lure. On this one I had a mouse guard, but I popped it out. And as you can see by the lid, there's some comb in there, just from some bees that I caught. They just got started, and this was one of those cases where I didn't even need the bees. I gave these to a friend of mine. He cut them out. But I caught bees in these things. They work. They're free. They're literally free. They're easy to set up. You know, I don't really have to drag it out much more. Here's my second option for catching bees if you don't want to use your equipment. Very inexpensive. The big thing I'm trying to get people to do is to don't be afraid of doing a little bit of work to get the free bees, especially if you only want a few. Like I said, you don't have to put them up high, and they work great. In my next video I'm about to make, I'm going to give you a tip that's even more important than my first 2 videos if you want to guarantee that you're going to get some free bees. So be on the lookout for that one. Alright, I hope that helped you out. Check out my little contest called Swarm Boss 2021. You can just search it if you want to. Swarm Boss 2021, all one word. Let's get together. Let's like have some fun so you can catch a ton of bees. Let me know who doesn't have slum gum or who needs some wax. You know, it's not that expensive to ship. Help each other out. I want to see everybody on my list catching some bees. I want to see people that are relieved that they caught some bees and they didn't waste money on bees. So have fun with these. I'd love to see how you set yours up. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Can't get the laughing at him. You know what I mean.